Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nerds with Friends. My name is Cody Leach, and as always, I'm joined by Christian Garcia.
What up? I got a full night's sleep, unlike Cody.
Nope. I'm running on like 3 hours. And joined via Zoom is our friend Fabienne, our very own Ms. Marvel. Whenever we have a new Marvel thing.
I guess I am. Yeah, because I'm always on for your Marvel stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So we are going to be talking about both Black Widow and Loki, the series or season finale, I should say. And there will be spoilers. We'll let you guys know when the spoilers are happening. So if you haven't seen either of those, you can just leave it on in the background on mute.
Although at this point, it's been a week. You should have really watched
it. Exactly. We like to do these like a week after, so it gives everyone time.
Gives you time, yeah.
Yeah. Make sure to like and subscribe. Drop a little like down in the bottom. Hit the little bell to make sure you're notified whenever new videos are coming out. Yeah, you got to click the subscribe. You can also become a patron of the podcast at patreon.com/nerdswithfriendspodcast. Or no, just Nerds with Friends. I'm sorry. And all that information is at nerdswithfriendspodcast.com. Cool?
Yes.
All right. Before we get into the Marvel stuff, let's start off doing some nerdy confessions where we confess things that make us nerds. Christian, why don't you kick it off?
So the missus has got me stuck on a new app game. Harry Potter didn't say the full name.
An app game? You fucking boomer.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm
the new Harry application Potter, on the phone.
That's the one. Puzzles and spells, and I'm like fucking addicted to it, man.
Is it like one of those bubble pop games? But
it is.
You have to like do like your little spell in the correct order in order to do things.
I see you've played the game.
I've never played this game in my life.
No, but it's exactly that. And like we just started our own guild, and like people started joining, and I'm like, oh shit, I could talk to people. Like, hey man, you need to play more. I'm gonna kick you out. And I've actually dropped a couple dollars on it, man. I'm like, I know, I hate it. I'm like, I'd always tell myself
they fucking gotcha. Every time they do that on like one of those free to play games, like Pokemon Go is the worst.
Oh man, Pokemon Go, I think
I've
I
spent hundreds,
like $500.
Yeah. And our
Niantic, take my money.
I know. My friend Michael works for Niantic, and I'm just like, God damn it, Michael.
You should tell him, hey man, just give me some Pokemon balls, or like, hook it up.
Yeah, he doesn't hook it up for shit. Like he doesn't give us any cool swag.
He's got to get paid.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, gotta make that money.
On this game, it's always like, all right, I'm one move away, and this is like my 10th try trying to beat this level.
Yeah, they do it on purpose.
They do it on purpose.
It's like, oh, for $2 you can get those extra moves, and he's like, fuck it, fine. I've already spent enough time on this.
It's just like a reskinned Candy Crush.
Basically.
That's awesome.
I started getting my buddy playing, who was like, he's like on level 4,000 on Candy Crush.
Oh, dear
I didn't even know they went that high, so I got him playing too.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. Well,
nice.
Please.
Well, you're having fun.
Yeah.
That's good. You could be spending that money on worse things, and you're not. So that's good.
It's not Heron, It's
not Heron.
What's that?
Heroin?
Oh.
It's the PG version of it.
Oh, is that some other application game?
Yes.
On the telephone?
That I downloaded on the App Store.
Someone needs to make that now.
Yeah.
Heron
the game. Where you're just chasing a dragon.
Sucking dick for money.
What was that? It's like that. What was that Adult Swim game where you're like the unicorn, and it's like a 2D scroller, and you have to like jump and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like,
what was
the whole
that?
time it was like, always gonna believe in you, and whatever. Just the whole time.
There was like I remember the death
familiar.
metal one where it was like super metaled out, but you're like a robot demon unicorn. But maybe it was just a reskin of the same game.
Maybe.
But I do remember that. It was like a Flappy Bird ripoff.
Yeah.
Remember Flappy Bird?
Yeah, I never played it. I've seen people play it.
It's fucking crazy. I think they got sued because they used like the Super Mario pipes.
What do you mean? Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Just change the color.
I mean, just turn it into literally anything else. No one cares about the pipes.
Nintendo must be struggling if they're trying to get people after the pipes.
I don't know.
Nah, dude, they got theme parks coming out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They're not struggling. They're fine.
Fabienne, actually, I'll go because the Nintendo thing's a good tie-in. So
okay.
My nerdy confession, it wasn't going to be this, but I'll just tie them together. I recently bought another Nintendo Switch game, and I think listeners of the podcast know kind of my position on the Switch, where like there's one game that's really great.
The Zelda game.
The Zelda game is amazing. And every other game since has been kind of a disappointment.
You loved Animal Crossing.
Dude, I fucking hated it. I did play it for like a month though. And I was just like, when does this get fun? And it didn't. But I bought a new one because I played it at a buddy's house and I had a good time with it. I bought the Super Mario Golf.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. I forgot how much I enjoyed a good golf game. And
That's the whitest thing you've ever said on this podcast.
I know. And there have been a few. There have been a few things for sure. But yeah, it's super fun. But the one downside to it is it has the limitations of Nintendo games where, I've now unlocked all of the maps on it. And so I'm basically done with the game. I haven't unlocked all the clubs and things like that you can get for all the characters. But, and then, there's, because it's Nintendo, it's obviously geared towards a younger audience, even though it's a golf game. When you're going through the adventure mode, you have to wait for all the text to scroll out and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're doing the same stupid shit over and over again. And it's really like when you're playing against a computer, it's really easy unless you like make it hard on yourself. But it is really fun. If you're into golf games and you want like a good party game, definitely fun because you can play it with a million people and just pass the controller off because you go one at a time.
I don't know how golf works. So
you hit the ball, you try and get it in the hole.
I mean, I get that part, but that's about it.
As soon as you can, before everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. You want the lowest score. Though this one is cool. It does have it has battle golf, which sounds as crazy. Which
is that like you can like tackle each other and like shoot each other and like
so you're in like
each other?
You're in like an arena that looks kind of like, remember American Gladiator, where you're like you had to get the tennis ball guns and shoot the rockets and shit like that. It looks like that. It's all hexagonal and stuff, and you all tee off at the same time, and it's first 1 to 3 holes wins, and you have to tee off, and then you have to run to where the ball lands, and you can tackle, you can do sprint moves and things like that, get power-ups as you're running. And other people can do their special move and knock your ball out of where you shot and stuff. So it's kind of fun. It's an interesting mode. Definitely more of a party game thing. Playing against the computers is stupid.
Right.
But and then kind of tied into, I'll do a kind of a bonus nerdy confession. I recently bought one of those super custom controllers for my PS5.
Oh, I think you showed me the picture. The red one?
Yeah, it's like red. I think I did red and black on it. And so what it is, it's from this company called Modded Zone. And all I really wanted on the controller was back paddles, where if you're playing, anyone who has played video game in the last 60 years knows that, you have your control, your controller, you're using primarily your thumbs. Your back fingers aren't really doing anything. Now in first person shooters, you got your triggers, right? But when you're playing something like Call of Duty or Apex Legends, which I play a lot of, one of the downsides to like the controller format is when you're moving around, if you want to jump or crouch, you have to take your right thumb off of the stick, which lets you look around. So you can't aim and crouch and aim and jump at the same time unless you do like a weird claw formation, right? So what this new controller does is it lets you map these 2 paddles on the back to be like X or circle or whatever it is on the Xbox.
Oh, so you want to cheat in Call of Duty?
I'm just trying to even the playing field between me and a PC player. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But I will say this company, Modded Zone, and there's other ones out there too, they have straight up cheats that you can buy in the controller. I didn't do that because first of all, they're really expensive, and second of all, I don't believe in it.
I just don't understand. Like, you're not as good as you're portraying in the game. Like,
right.
Just get better. Like, I don't know.
You want to hear some of the cheats they have?
Sure.
So they have one where as soon as you start pulling the trigger to fire, it crouches you down to go prone.
Okay.
So and then they have another. So like you just hit the trigger button and you automatically jump down, which makes it harder for the guy who you're shooting against
to shoot
to
you
see
back.
You. Yeah. They also have the same thing, but for jumping. So like a common thing in Call of Duty is people just jumping all the time when they start shooting you because it's hard to hit a moving target. And then they had one. They had something about like recoil assist where you can like program it so that when you hit the trigger, it starts like pulling down the right stick, so it manages the recoil lift of the gun. All this stupid shit, like
ridiculous.
It's crazy. But yeah, but I'm excited to get the little paddles on the back because the Xbox controller already has those. There's the Elite controller that has those already.
PlayStation 4. So it's like it's not cheating then.
It's not cheating. Like, it's just like giving you buttons in a different location, basically.
Got it. You
still have to hit them and be good and aim.
Right. Yeah.
But and even on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation themselves made an attachment for the back that did the same thing. They just haven't done that on the PS5 yet. So I ordered this new controller. But yeah,
exciting.
I'm pretty excited.
Exciting.
All right, Bob, what's your nerdy confession?
Oh man, okay. So my nerdy confession. All right. So okay. So I love Warhammer.
Yeah. I was hoping it would be this.
Oh yes, I have a giant pile of shame.
Yeah.
Which is a bunch of minis that. No. It's not even that they're like sitting there together. They're not even fucking built yet. They're still in the box.
They're still on the sprue.
All still saran wrapped in the box. And just this last week, I finally finished, or I didn't finish. I started painting one.
I started painting one a little
from a box that I've had since the January 2019.
Oh my god. Man, you skipped the entire pandemic. That was the perfect time to paint armies.
I know, it was so dumb of me.
How did you remember it's from 2019?
Because it's the Sisters of Battle start box.
Start collecting
and it was
box.
Sisters of Battle was a big fucking deal. That's how I remember.
Just ship him to Cody, he'll paint him.
No.
Please do not sign me up for that. I have my own pile of shame that I'm working through.
I want to paint them. I just I just never got around to it. And then just the other day, I was like, oh, I finished building them. And I was like, I should do a test paint on what I want my color scheme to be.
Yeah.
And I started painting.
Always good when you're starting out like an army to do one model and figure out the steps and the color scheme and how you want it. Because if you start doing 10 of them and you're doing them in an assembly line right off the bat, if you get done and you're like, oh, I don't like that shade of red or whatever. Yeah. Now you're like, fuck, now I got to redo 10 instead of just redoing
it also helps you figure out the assembly line process.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay. Painting under this armpit was impossible after I had already done, the sleeve or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, I got to base all of these the red for the fabric, then base all of these for the blue for the armor, then that's my nerdy confession, is that I've finally started painting one miniature that I've had since beginning of 2019.
Well, once you get done, I'll probably be done with my Space Marine army.
Nice.
And I'll have to make a trip down there, and you can just teach
or
me
vice versa. I can come up to you.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure out a time to play.
That should be my nerdy confession. Is I've painted hundreds of dollars worth of Warhammer minis, and I don't know how to play yet.
Yes,
that's okay.
I mean, I kind of know because I've read the book and watched videos and stuff. But
a lot of people just collect the minis and paint them.
I mean, realistically, that's how I got into everything. But the more I learn, and I just liked Games Workshop models because they're so crisp and well designed and well made. But the more I got into the lore and stuff, I'm like, oh, this is fucking sick.
Oh yeah.
And if
it's ridiculous heavy metal.
Oh yeah, super
ridiculous.
Grim dark sci-fi murder bots and stuff.
80s fantasy metal music video.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. Yeah, I'm. I love Space Marines, and I feel like a lot of people hate on them because they are the poster boys of Warhammer. But I mean, there's something about the design of them, and they get all the newest models. They always look sick as fuck, and I love them. But if I had to pick a second favorite faction, it would be the Sisters of Battle, because they're awesome. And they're new.
They're
Did
good.
you get any of the Nundums?
Yes, I got
the
all
battle
of them.
suits?
When I went to the Warhammer Cafe opening,
yeah.
that's what I bought because they had just come out the same day.
Yeah.
And like they
Got the
had
new
like a
codex,
whole wall
too.
of them, and I was like, well, fuck it, I guess I'm buying all that. I've spent so much money.
I
That's
bet.
my other nerdy confession is I spent way too much money.
Well, yeah, because I mean, a codex like $60 or $50.
Yeah. Here, I'll show you. I got the new special
ready.
edition Sisters of Battle
Ooh,
codex.
special edition.
Is very good, very pretty.
Yeah, it's got the cool little bookmark ribbon thing in it.
Yes.
Oh my
Very,
gosh.
very fancy.
Yeah.
I got this was a freebie. It's like cards for like your or it's a card holder for like your cards.
Oh, gotcha. For your
Card, like,
stratagem
backs.
cards and stuff.
This was the store's dice.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, they have like little skulls on them. This was oh man, it stuck to my desk. This was the Sisters of Battle dice
Oh, yeah.
that should have been in the fucking box but wasn't.
Yeah.
So I bought them. No.
Yeah.
Oh, and they this was cool. I got the last one. It's a Purities.
Ooh, very cool.
It has like that was my nerdy confession.
That's sick.
I love Warhammer and I need to paint my minis.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta paint them minis.
Yep.
I know the feeling. I'm working on some right now.
Now we got to get Christian in there.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't paint that small, man.
I will paint you an army.
I can't paint that small, man. I mean, my background's in illustration, but I work big. I don't know how he does it with his fucking.
Well,
bear
it's
claw
a
hands.
skill you have to learn. It's not like I instantly started doing it. You know?
It makes me
we'll get
nervous
you-
just thinking about painting something that small. Like I feel like
Yeah.
my hand would just shake because I don't want to fuck this up.
Well, yeah, you don't paint like this. You got to get multiple points of contact so you're nice and steady.
See, look at it.
Yeah, you gotta.
I'm good.
You gotta do the finger tripod.
Yeah,
Your mini.
I like to have both elbows on a surface and hold everything the best you can with your little pink. I like a little pinky out because it's fancy. And you just go steady.
I don't know,
go
man.
slow. And there's like cheater ways of doing it too. Dry brushing is every noob's friend. You just fucking take like a makeup brush and you like dab it in paint and then wipe most of the paint off on like a paper towel and just like you're digging for dinosaur bones, or dusting for prints,
Okay.
and you just kind of dust them and it just hits all the raised surfaces and adds like instant contrast. Yeah, it's a
They
fucking.
also have like literal contrast paint,
Yep.
which you just boop, and it makes there's the shadow, there's the
know.
highlight, and it's all done for you.
Yeah, I've used a little bit of those. I mean, obviously, I think I've gone past where that is, but for someone who just wants to play the game, perfect. It's a great, great thing. We'll get you something easy.
I'm down to play. I'm not painting shit.
Well, I have like half of a Necron army, so I guess I could just skip the other half. All right. Well, enough about nerdy confessions. We already rambled long enough about that. I could talk about freaking minis for days. But we're going to take a quick little break, and then when we come back, we are going to be talking about Marvel Black Widow versus Loki. So we'll be right back. And we're back. All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
So,
What are we starting with?
I know. As of
Yeah,
recording
what do you
this
wanna start with?
today, we record this on the Wednesday before it comes out, and the newest episode or the final episode of Loki season 1 has been released. Some huge revelations in that, and then last weekend, Black Widow came out in theaters and on Disney Plus as well. So, I think before we get into spoilers, I just want to do kind of like what you guys think was the better summer Marvel property. Like who went out and achieved their goal the best?
Loki.
Loki?
My vote's Loki.
Interesting.
I mean, I think overall, I think Loki is my pick as well. I really enjoyed Black Widow, but I think a couple of the pitfalls of it, without getting into spoiler territory quite yet, is that obviously this was supposed to come out last summer?
Yep.
Not last summer even. It was a year ago from last March. Because there's supposed to be like a springtime release.
I'm wondering because when it was revealed the last time we went to Comic-Con, which is 2 years ago? It's about to be 2 years.
Yeah, about to be 2 years, yeah. It's almost 2 years to the date.
I think it's 2 years to the day.
Yeah.
Actually.
So,
because I got a notification saying Comic-Con several years ago, and I was like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when we could hang outside?
Then it would have been last year, right?
Well, it was supposed to come out in like, I think it was like March or February of 2020.
Right.
It was like the first, wasn't it the first of like the phase?
Yes.
Yes.
Phase
it was like
4.
This is the first of the phase 4. It was going to be the first of the Disney
Exactly.
Plus stuff.
Right.
And then
people started getting the flu and everyone freaked out, and then it didn't come out.
Ruined all of our fun. It was stupid. So I kind of take that into account, but at the same time, I think even if I had watched it then, I feel like the movie would have been it feels kind of out of place because it tells a story that's already happened and has very little relevance to anything else.
Right.
I agree with.
I want to say stuff, but we're not doing spoilers.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a second.
I agree with that. Like, I felt that like, I felt like there wasn't. I felt like, I guess because we already know what happens.
Yeah.
We all already know what happens, as well as I felt like. I felt like I had no stakes in it because I already knew what happened.
Yes, exactly.
Like I wasn't like worried about,
Oh, is she going to make it out of this crazy adventure?
Yeah,
well, yes, obviously.
Obviously she makes it, and that might have been a part in why.
Now, if this had come out after Civil War, before Infinity War, it would be a completely different story. I'd be like, oh shit, this was really fun.
Yeah. And I actually, for whatever reason, I thought this originally was going to be like even before the Avengers. Like this is her more focused toward like her getting out of that.
Well, there was some like executive at, I think it was it like Paramount? It was one of the companies that had like previously done a bunch of Marvel stuff. Mm-hmm. And during the early transition of Marvel Studios being bought out by Disney, this guy was like a super misogynist. He's like, women don't sell movie tickets and all that kind of shit. And so
is that Harvey Weinstein?
It wasn't Harvey Weinstein. It was this other guy who looks very similar to him. Oddly enough.
I'm sure.
Yeah, just an old, grumpy, crusty white man. He had this thing where like that's why there was no like Captain Marvel early on. There was no Black Widow solo movie. All the she was basically written in to be like a hot spy lady, and that's kind of
in Iron Man 2, that's kind of what she was.
That's what she was. 100%. Yeah. I mean that makes sense. Like
but at the same time, like Disney has owned them now for quite some time. Kevin Feige has been in charge for quite some time.
Yeah,
they could have done it, and like
they could have done it, and didn't Scarlett Jo had to be like, hey, so I'm doing this. Like, exactly. I'm going to do this, by the way, and if you want to do it.
Yeah.
Here's your chance to get involved.
Right. And I think it would have been so much better if it had taken place back then, because it would have set more stuff up. We'd been like, oh shit, Black Widow was always part of S.H.I.E.L.D. and now that all the Avengers are on the run after Civil War, what's she gonna do? It's like, oh cool, it's telling that story. Having it happen now, especially after the events of Endgame where she dies at the end of Endgame. Spoiler for that, but I mean,
if you haven't seen that movie and it's been out for 10 years,
exactly. I don't know. It was from the before time.
It was the director was a lady, right? I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I don't know who it was.
I was
but ScarJo was executive producer.
I wonder whose decision. I was shocked. I'm like, there's a lot of angles where it's just
her butt,
just her, and I was just like, I was. I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying.
A lady can appreciate another lady's butt. That's
I guess.
If I've learned anything over the years.
I didn't notice any butt shots.
Oh, there was a lot.
Oh,
man,
we noticed.
Not notice
it. Yeah,
it felt like Quentin Tarantino when he's showing
my sexuality now.
It's what I think. I will say, I think that Iron Man 2, if we're comparing it back to her first appearance, was worse at it.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
It was not as bad as that. But, there was a lot of shots that started very low and crept up very slowly.
Can we get a spoiler alert?
Yeah. All right, guys.
Just because I want to talk about things.
If
about
you've gotten
Scarlet,
this far and you haven't seen it, spoiler time. We're going to be talking about spoilers not only for Black Widow but also for the finale of Loki. So here's your warning. Keep it playing in the background on mute so we get the listens, but then come back and listen again once you've watched everything.
I'll let Fobs go first because there's something I want to say too.
So,
go for it.
So one of the things that I do really appreciate about Black Widow is the jokes about the
terrible things she went through.
The sexualized, fucked up stuff from the previous
why she poses all the time.
The pose one. I know I'm sure it's a hot topic and people are debating it. And I heard a podcast where a guy was like, I'm not sure if I should be mad about this because I'm a dude, was the talking about the sodomy. And they get all up there and then they take all this stuff. And I was about to talk about the fallopian tubes. That whole thing. I thought that was fucking so good, so funny.
Well, I think also it shows how those characters have handled it, right?
Right, absolutely. But it's also just so fucking ridiculous and dumb that is in the series, and they all know that, and they're like, but we have to stick to it because it's fucking canon,
right?
So let's just joke about it,
exactly.
Let's just make fun of it. And
coming from Disney, that's it's a bold move.
I didn't even think about that. That's true.
Yeah, it's like
they don't let people smoke in their movies.
There were some people that were like, it was especially guys that were like, I don't know if I should be upset about this. And I'm sure there are people that are very upset and we're like, sodomy's not funny or whatever. But I think in this movie, because of just how fucking stupid and ridiculous that whole plot that was crowbarred into Avengers, was it Avengers?
Which one? The Budapest
or maybe it was
story?
Civil War.
No. That was with the Hulk, right? Where I guess she was saying she couldn't have babies.
No, it was one of the Avengers. We get or one of the movies. We get this very brief backstory about.
Oh yeah, that was Avengers 2:
Black
Age of
Widow.
Ultron.
And she's just she was these horrible things, and then there's this weird
the ballet
montage
sequence
of ballet and her on a surgery table
with fucking crazy bangs.
With crazy bangs, yeah, and she insinuates that she can't have a family.
Right.
Yeah, it's with Hulk. It's with the Hulk.
Yeah, it was Avengers 2: Age of Ultron, and you see it when the Scarlet Witch mind fucks her, you know what I mean?
Right.
The little,
and
which she never did again until WandaVision. I forgot WandaVision happened for a second.
I remember when that scene happened, I remember thinking why the fuck did y'all feel like this is what you wanted to put into this movie, this very, very dark, very, very sinister thing. Which okay, but the rest of Marvel isn't
right
that dark and sinister.
Yeah,
and
that kind of that level
one
of evil.
Female that's in this fucking series, you're gonna go that dark and sinister.
That's true.
So I really appreciated in this movie that they kind of were like, hey guys, this is how dumb this is. Here are all the jokes about it because it is. It's what is all that stuff do to change the story? It doesn't fucking matter.
At the end of the day, I mean, it's kind of, I mean, it's nice that I think that they acknowledge the actual origins from the comics, but they didn't dwell on it so much that you're going to have a bunch of young children being exposed to the
what's a fallopian tube?
Yeah, I'm sure that question got asked a couple times.
Oh, I'm sure.
But
and I also
fine. You should know what a fallopian tube is.
I also appreciated that it did take the women's experience and did turn it in a way that was hey, let's not make it about that, but it's still a woman breaking away from an abuser and the fuck the patriarchy, kind of situation. Yeah. I also appreciated that they still kind of took that same theme, but didn't make it about actual assault and shit like that.
Yeah, it was obviously very symbolic, especially with you know what's his face. What was the bad guy's name? Dreykov?
It was
I don't know that fucker.
Some Russian dude.
That D-bag, whatever.
Yeah, he's obviously playing like the abusive man, father, whatever floats your boat and fits your situation. And that's really what the Red Room was. And it was cool to see him take down. Now let's we mentioned the jokes specifically about that, but let's
can I one thing?
Yes.
And then we're gonna get into it. I know we are. Taskmaster.
Oh, okay.
I
did you not like it?
I did not. It had nothing to do. When they showed the little girl, I'm like, okay. I kind of just knew.
Yeah, I figured it out immediately.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Oh, really?
Which I was fine with. That part didn't bug me at all. It actually would have been good if it was. That part was good. But the fact that they made him a robot chip in the brain and that's how she mimics the moves, I really didn't want them to do that. And then they fucking did it. Also, I feel it was really, really bad idea to just reveal her at the end. What they should have done is revealed early on.
Yeah, midway through.
Yeah.
And then she has this guilt. Oh my God, I did this to this child, and now she's going through it, and she has to deal with that guilt of what she did.
Right.
But it was just like shoehorned at the end.
Right.
And I was just kind of like, that could have been done better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I agree with that.
I think like when I saw the trailers for the movies, I thought it was going to be Rachel Weisz's character. I thought that would have been
I thought
cool
it was
going to
be the mom.
But once they showed the daughter and how like hung up Black Widow was on killing the daughter, I'm like, that's fucking Taskmaster. I hated the way they did it too. I don't like that it was technology based because that's stupid. It lessens what Taskmaster is.
Right.
Anybody could be Taskmaster. I think it would have been cooler if, due to the explosion, she had some sort of brain damage, which caused her the ability to have the, what is it called, like photo physical reflexes or
something
whatever,
like
where she can mimic things. Like have it be a result of the explosion, if you don't want to do like she's a mutant or whatever. And like who cares? Like I don't care about gender swapping and stuff. I think that's perfectly fine. And a lot of people shit on like the costume. The costume's fine.
The costume's
fine.
It's whatever. It's like you're not gonna have a guy with a fucking Skeletor mask.
Why not?
Because it's stupid. Like it doesn't even make sense in
because
the
there's
book.
a Skeletor cartoon that I still need to watch.
Yeah.
And we can't copyright.
Right, exactly. And it just like, how do you make that look convincing?
Yeah.
And he takes it off and it's just a rubber mask, but it's a photorealistic skeleton the rest of the time. Stupid.
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know anything about the Black Widow comic books or like.
Well, Taskmaster is not really a Black Widow.
No.
Okay.
Bad guy. I think
he's not even so much.
I know he's supposed to be like a dude. He's supposed to be.
He's supposed to be a dude. He's a mercenary, and he has whatever it's called, photo physical reflexes or whatever.
And he basically decided
he can see someone do something once and then instantly repeat it.
As long as it's not a super ability.
As long as he can't like shoot lasers out of his eyeballs. But
got it.
That's why he carries the shield, the bow and arrow, the sword, because he sees Captain America fight with the shield. So he can see him bounce it off the walls. He can instantly do that just by seeing it one time.
So that puts that into perspective more for me. And yeah, I 100% agree. The chip is a cop out.
Right.
Like, or she could have just fucking gotten dipped in nuclear waste. Like, I don't know, like some shit.
Or the Tesseract, what they did with
she grew up in Chernobyl.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe like something with the fucking Sokovia. Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Anything else would have been fine except we made this chip that only works on her for some reason.
Or even that she like got some crazy ass special training because she's the daughter of the guy.
Or
she's gonna have more intense training.
Or like, I don't need to make any more Black Widows. I just need to put these chips on all of them and have an army of Taskmasters who can fight like the Avengers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I will say, after talking to some friends about like the gender thing, I do kind of wish that Taskmaster was male, and only because like I feel like girls, sorry, this is me being my feminist again, I feel like girls like constantly like are fighting each other, and I guess that's the point of this movie too, is that it's like, hey, we're constantly put like to fight each other, and now at the end we're all friends,
And
you
then
know,
they
and
just
we're all
make
gonna
out
get
with
through
each
this
other.
together.
That's a different movie. Cody.
That's a very different movie.
It's a very different movie. I'd
watch it.
I'd watch it, you know, begrudgingly for sure.
But
yeah, I see
I
your
almost
point.
kind of wish that he was either a robot or he was actually, maybe it was the son.
Yeah.
You know, like instead, just because again, I feel like it's, well, women can't fight men,
Right.
So,
well, also I thought it was weird that Taskmaster's suit made her look like a man. Like it's big and bulky, you know. It's got like the super armor plate, and it's when you see her remove her mask for the first time, it's obviously a CG'd lady's head on top of the body. So I'm like, it would have been cool if there was like a line of dialogue in there, like if what's his name, Dreykov or whatever, was like, oh, I always wanted a son or something like that. And so that explains why he dresses her up like a skeleton man.
Yeah,
you know?
I think they were trying not to do the sexy lady.
Well, it doesn't have to be, but you don't have to add like extra fake muscles, you know?
It did feel like the suit was bulky, or maybe it's that cyborgy. Like, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
What they were trying to do there.
I mean, I think what it was they wanted the old bait and switch at the end and a big reveal, and that's fine. But give there some reason, like why would Dreykov make that suit? Because he's obviously the one pulling all the strings, right?
Right.
He's like, that doesn't do anyone any good, really. But anyway, I thought it was kind of
because male bodies are better, Cody. That's why they're just more efficient,
especially when they're robotically enhanced. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But otherwise, I will say with the movie, like again, like I didn't think it was bad.
No. I liked the movie.
I thought it was a good movie.
I just wanted to start off with the part that bugged me. And
I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was great. I thought we got to see a lot more of who Black Widow was, where she came from, and why she is the way she is.
I love Sheriff. I love Red Star or whatever.
He was
great.
The Red
he
Guardian.
Was fucking
the
great.
Crimson Dynamo.
What was it? Crimson Tide?
No. It was Red Guardian.
Red Guardian.
But
someone in the movie calls him Crimson Dynamo, which was the Russian version of Iron Man, who was Iron Man's bad guy. But he was Red Guardian was Captain America.
Yeah, I mean every scene Russian he was counterpart. In, he stole after the America part. Like everything was fucking hilarious.
Right. He was great. Yelena was really good, and like Francis. What's her name? Francis. Is it Florence Pugh? Pugh? I don't know. Whatever.
The sister?
Yeah, the sister Yelena.
I love her.
She was hilarious.
She was hilarious, and I thought she was great. Like a good, bouncing off of ScarJo. And which is crazy because I was never impressed with her in the movies that I've seen. Like I really liked Midsummer by what's his name, Ari.
I don't remember his name.
The guy who did Hereditary.
We're the worst with names.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like Ari Ashner or something. He does like these really good horror movies. But she was in Midsummer. She was the lead actor in that. And like I thought she was okay, but like she didn't have that charisma. But in this one, I'm like, damn, she steals the show from, Scarlett Johansson, who's been in way more movies and been way higher profile for a lot longer. And so I'm happy that she's part of the MCU now.
And the sibling stuff with them,
sibling dynamic
felt
great.
Really great.
Yeah.
I thought Rachel Weisz her character was kind of a waste.
Dude, when the whole pig scene, when she tells it to stop breathing, I'm like, yo, the pig. I'm like, yo, the pig.
That's why they did it.
Like, yo, no one's worried about the pig.
In the room? Like,
yeah, the poor little pig.
I was like, dude, let him breathe now.
Yeah, I do. I guess I do kind of wish that too was more of a thing, like, because we didn't know. I guess we kind of know that the mom does some sort of science because she mentions bioluminescence at the very beginning of it. But it's like I wish there was more, like, secret spy Russian fucking science lab in their house that we like get a brief glimpse of, or like
that's why I think it would have been better if she was the Taskmaster, because then you like, I've experimented on myself, which has given me these ultra reflexes, and because of that, that would explain why she betrayed them to Dreykov. I know we're saying his name wrong,
whatever,
the bad guy. And so it was. Then it would show that she was behind it the whole time, kind of thing, of leading them down the road. And then the double cross where Dreykov knows that it was Black Widow makes sense, and then Taskmaster reveals it, and it's her. you're like, oh shit, okay, the whole time.
Get at us, Marvel. We can help you fix it.
I'll rewrite any of your movies. Just send them to me first, and I will rewrite that shit to make the fans happy. All right.
No, don't make the fans happy.
Yes, don't make.
If we've learned anything from Star Wars,
well,
don't make the fans
don't
happy.
pander. That's rule number one. But you got to do it smart. All right. Well, I mean,
and also, lastly, I guess now the sister's going to be the villain in the Hawkeye show.
Yeah, it looks like it. Because the Contessa, whatever, from Falcon Winter Soldier, she showed up in the post credits.
What I was reading, that was supposed to be her first reveal.
Yes,
because that movie was supposed to come first, and then the second one was supposed to be Falcon Winter Soldier.
Which makes sense when you watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
right?
Because it's like her scene is very much like it feels like she's already established somehow,
right?
When you watch that scene, and I was like, why? And then I looked it up, and it was like, no, she was supposed to be in.
Yeah,
you're supposed to know about her from whatever, Black Widow.
A lot of people think that they're setting up for like a Dark Avengers movie or something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They talk about like what was it in Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
US
they talk about the reef.
Yeah.
They're all going to the reef. They're getting sent to the reef.
The raft.
It's like, the raft. That's what it is.
It kind of sucks that it's not going to be Norman Osborn though, who makes him.
Well, Sony's got that shit on lockdown. So,
I mean,
what are we gonna do
if they're going to be in the No Way Home in the Spider-Man movie, which we're going to get into?
Which is a Sony movie.
No. Oh no,
it's owned by Sony.
Fuck.
Yeah, they can.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
It's in coordination with Marvel, but Sony has the veto rights on it.
Up.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're constantly battling over Spider-Man.
I don't know enough to argue with you.
That's why Venom and Morbius are still Sony properties.
I don't know enough to argue with you, but I don't believe you.
Trust me. All right. Well, we've said enough about Black Widow. I think overall the consensus, definitely watch it.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
You know, it kind of consider it like a one shot. It's off on its own.
Yeah.
It doesn't really contribute anything. It shows where she got her vest from Endgame, so I guess that's cool.
It has all the pockets.
All the pockets. Yeah.
I didn't even remember that part. I was like, I remember when they were talking about, she was like, oh, isn't it so cool? I got all the pockets. I'm like, why are we like spending all this time on this vest? Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's because she's wearing it in Endgame, and like, it's stupid. No one cares about that.
Yeah, no one cares. I honestly wonder if it's just like they were in the whatever meeting and we're like, it'd be really funny if like this fucking stupid vest that she wore in this came in and like, we should make it a thing. Let's just have them like improvise about this stupid vest for like a scene.
Let's have a 5-minute improv scene about the fucking vest.
Yeah.
Then let's have her hold some blonde hair dye like 3 times and just kind of look at it like,
like, should I dye my hair? I don't know.
Also, before we switch, we need to have a Captain America Red Guardian show where they're like,
let's talk about that. Who do you think he fought? Because he keeps talking about.
I think Steve Rogers was going on time adventures.
There's a couple theories.
Yeah.
One is the time adventures. And it was the actual Captain America. There's another one where it's old man Captain America, what we see at Endgame.
Yeah.
So he did fight him, but he was an old guy. And
he was old.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like it's Steve Rogers who went back, in time to the 40s.
No, but some people are saying it's like the old man that looked like Biden in fucking Endgame.
Yeah. But he was obviously talking about something that happened in the Cold War, which was in the 80s.
Right.
80s.
So and he's a super soldier, so he ages much slower. So in the end of Endgame, he looks like maybe he's 80 years old, right? But at that point, he's like 100 and something years old.
Could it
he's
also
like 115
have
or something in that scene.
Could it also have been Isaiah?
That's the other theory, that it was Isaiah or another Captain, because we know now there's
Isaiah would be like 10 years younger than freaking, because he fought in the Korean War.
In the Korean War, but technically in history, I believe Russia was involved in the Korean War.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess it depends on when they're placing Red Guardian. I would love like an Isaiah Bradley like spin-off show, and then it leads into Patriot.
Although it'd be really sad because they put him in jail because they're like, we can't have a black Captain America. Let's just put him in jail.
But that's a good parallel to what's his name, to Red Guardian. Like, because he gets put in. They're both abandoned by their country essentially. So might be a cool parallel. Kevin Feige, we're here. Just
fucking throwing gold.
We got a million ideas. Just send them our way. I think that would be cool. I would like an old man. I'd like Steve Rogers through the ages kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like the couple of times where things got so bad that he had to pick up the shield again. He couldn't stand for it. Like I'm sure there'd be like a Vietnam
Nazis.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the Nazis. He probably, well, he went back.
He didn't go back that far.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did, but it was like, I think at that point the war was over. When did he get frozen? Like 42?
44 or
doesn't matter. It was towards the end.
So it would have been 45. So
it's over there.
But like, it would be cool if it showed him through the ages, slightly getting older each one, and then showed the Red Guardian fight in like the early '80s Cold War era.
Yeah, maybe that's like a Disney Plus show they're working out.
That would be
where
cool.
it's like each episode is a different decade or whatever.
Exactly.
Nah, Chris Evans doesn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that too is like he's like.
I know he's over it.
Yeah.
He wants to do other movies.
I'm retired.
All right, we got to talk Loki.
Okay. Yes, Loki.
So
yes.
the finale just happened. Huge reveal.
Mm-hmm. I didn't think they were going to do it.
Biggest reveal in any of the Disney Plus movies, for sure.
Because this whole time they're saying we're not going to do any big reveals in the shows. Because...
Wait, Kane the Conqueror was supposed to be a big reveal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they've gone on record saying that he is going to show up in Ant-Man 3.
Right. And they were saying we don't want to drop anything big in the shows because people who don't watch the shows and just watch the movies, we don't want them to feel lost.
Right.
I mean, but technically it wasn't Kane the Conqueror.
No,
that's what I was telling Cody.
It was a Mortis. Yeah.
Well, it was Nathaniel Richards. Yes.
It was one of the
descendant
variants.
of Reed Richards.
Well, yeah, which is also Kang. I mean,
well, yeah. So, like, the kind of the idea of Kang the Conqueror is like he's a man, like they say in the show, he's a man from the 31st century, just shy of the Horus Heresy, and he basically discovers multiverses and multi-timelines, and basically starts conferencing with himself. Which may be like a reference to like the Council of Richards.
Yeah, and some were
Or
cool.
Reed Richards, I should say.
And some were
Or the Citadel of Ricks.
Yeah, the Citadel of Ricks. Citadel of Ricks is a direct ripoff of like the Reed Richards thing.
Okay, is it? Okay.
It's like it's called the Council of Reed Richards, where all the Reed Richardses from the multiverse talk to each other about science.
Okay.
And then, but anyway, so King the Conqueror has all these variations of himself. One gets stuck back in ancient Egypt and becomes a pharaoh. And then one gets, lives out his life to the end and becomes like Immortus, which is, he's basically immortal and he's basically seen all of time, which I think is the guy they kind of combined into this guy that we saw.
He did say like he's seen everything up until that point, and he's just kind of like take over or like. Fucking...
But then a couple of the other ones who are trying to take over all of time are King the Conquerors and stuff. And there's been other ones too.
That was kind of a cool thing. Like, was he really a villain? I mean, he was basically trying to stop worse ones.
No,
I didn't think he was.
I don't think so either. I think he was just, he's obviously kind of an eccentric scientist, Time Lord guy. But I think that's kind of the gravity of the situation. This is the first time Loki, well, not the first time necessarily, but this is maybe for this Loki, this is the first time he's done something good.
Right.
Where he thinks he's doing something good by releasing the Timekeepers, bringing free will to the timeline. But in doing this good thing, he actually brings up something terrible, just like he did with Thanos.
Well, luckily they got Loki who had turned, because it had been Loki episode 1 of the show where Miss Minutes is offering, you can go back together. Yep. You guys can rule Midgard. You guys, even we'll let you defeat Thanos. Right. First episode, Loki would be like, sign me up for that shit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm down as fuck. Let's do it. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. Now, also, so Sylvie and him have kind of a fight because they're both angst lords.
Well, like Loki's like, okay, this guy is probably a villain, but I believe what he's saying, that this is probably the best outcome we could do. Yeah. Maybe we should talk about it before we do something. And she's like, nah, this dude ruined my fucking life. Yeah. I want him fucking dead, which I get it. Right. She was taken as a kid.
God's age really slowly. So
yeah, so she's been
fucked for a long time. Living in apocalypse.
So I totally understood both fucking sides,
and then like he teleports in front of her and she like doesn't, stab through him. I'm like, oh shit, they love each other. They love each other so
much.
Loki,
of course, could only love himself.
Of course he would only love himself.
I know. That's the best.
It's a little weird, just like get a little
Well, one thing that's really weird, if you think about it, is if they had a baby, they'd have a clone of themselves because they'd get half of identical DNA.
Kind of weird.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, I mean, we don't know if she's a frost giant because we did see different variations.
Yeah, we saw Frog Thor.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Frog of Thunder, or whatever his name is. Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
It'll just be like England, right? Didn't they all just like,
Yeah, the royal family is still doing it.
Yeah.
they're all cousins and shit.
They're fine.
They're fine-ish.
Well, and so the other thing too is that like because she killed him, now the time just it becomes a loop, right?
Yeah.
Is he now
Well, he
all
says,
the
like, see
Kanes
you on
get
the next-
released again, and then there's this dimensional war that happens again, and he's just gonna come back, and that same Kang is gonna take over and make the TBA. And
well, it's different now because it's not the 3 space lizards. It was him that they had the statue.
But did the 3 space lizards ever exist?
No.
so.
But that was at least him behind pulling the strings.
At the same time, we don't know though, because when they're walking into Time Castle or whatever it's called like Chronopolis or something like that. You see, there's 3 statues of the Timekeepers in the castle, and there's one that's been destroyed.
Right.
So there's a 4th one who may have been Kang.
Yeah.
So who knows? Like maybe those were actual variants of him at one point. The Council of Ricks or whatever, and he's like the last surviving one because they turned on him or something. So it's hard to tell exactly how it will play
Well,
out.
it's different because Morbius didn't recognize Loki.
Right. Well, no, he's definitely in a
Oh.
different strand. Now, did Sylvie send him there on purpose, or was it an accident because of all the fraying of the timeline?
My guess
Right,
is once
yeah.
she killed him, it changed
It
everything.
changed it.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
now
we saw all the branches coming off of the timeline.
That too, yeah.
Doctor
So maybe
Strange
it
is fucking
doesn't-
sweating right now. He's like, "Fuck,
Yeah.
I gotta fix all that."
Yeah. So Loki confirmed to be in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, did he?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Well, Hollywood, one of the Hollywood reporting magazines, I forget which one, has said that he's supposed to be in it.
Nice.
So it's him,
Yeah.
Scarlet. He's going to show up. He might not be a main character, but him, Scarlet Witch, and Doctor.
I'm sure he's gonna be one of the people that's like, "Hey guys, I gotta tell you something.
Yeah.
Whoa, we gotta go back to the future."
We gotta go back to the future.
Wait, so
Like he's gonna be Doctor.
Doctor Strange doesn't know Loki though, right?
And then Doctor Strange is like,
Not
"Great
really, no.
Scott." Well, yeah, in
No, because Loki
oh yeah,
died in the
not
shoot.
this,
dies.
not this Loki.
No, he doesn't know Loki at all. I believe, unless
No, because there's
the
remember
Battle
when
of New
he's-
York, I
when
guess.
he's like, "I've been falling for 3 hours" or whatever. it was.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's true.
But he hasn't met this Loki
That's
because
right.
this Loki is from before that.
Right.
Yeah.
I also thought that Loki was going to get a power boost because when we saw
Well, he did a little bit. I mean, he
I mean, he like recreated a whole building that was like falling on him.
he learned new magic from
That's
Sylvie.
true.
the
because like when
enchantment.
classic Loki was building Asgard, which
Yeah.
classic Loki's not fucking dead. He's not dead.
Dude, he's fucking awesome.
He's coming back. He tricked
I
Thanos.
don't know, man. He had glorious purpose. He was all about it.
He tricked the Cloud. He's gonna come back. But like both Sylvie and Loki, like when they saw him do that, they were like, maybe we're stronger than we think. So I thought he was gonna get like boost and like level up or something. But
Well, he was never able to do the enchantment before,
that's true.
and so he
Now he can, yeah.
by like holding her hand or whatever, he like learned how to do it. So he is getting stronger. We just haven't seen an opportunity for him to use that yet. And he was obviously holding back when he was fighting her.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to hurt her. And she was
Right.
probably holding back too, realistically, though.
Do we know if he's gonna show up in Love and Thunder?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, I feel like Love and Thunder is going to be focused a lot
Or
on
Sylvie's gonna show up in Love and Thunder?
I wouldn't be surprised if she starts showing up in some after credit scenes,
Right.
And
I
then
would assume
other
that with
Kangs, like,
Lady
show up.
Thor coming out,
Yeah.
that she's gonna start showing up as like, the I would assume.
Maybe it's definitely possible. Though one thing with her is she didn't mention Thor at all during this whole thing.
Nope.
Yeah, no,
so-
she
It was
doesn't.
only Kid Loki that kind of mentioned because he killed him. But
Right.
I want to see that.
And so, well, old man Loki did too. He said, that's why he left the planet. And,
that's right.
He wanted to see his brother again. Because he loves him.
Yeah, that was so sad.
I know, so sad.
I want more classic Loki. He was fucking awesome.
Dude, I love the suit and everything. It was fucking.
Even though it's supposed to look dumb, it looked right on him.
It looked so good.
When
he's building Asgard and the cape's flowing, it was like, God, it's so good.
I really hope they bring him back.
Yeah.
I loved Owen Wilson.
Cool. Owen Wilson was great.
Great.
I'm a little bummed that we didn't see him with
on a jet ski
on a jet ski with a variant of himself who is Luke Wilson. I think that would have been amazing.
I don't know if you've seen,
but like Luke Wilson in like a blonde wig or something. I think it would have been amazing.
I don't know if you've seen any interviews with Tom Hiddleston. He does Luke Wilson impression.
He does, yeah,
and it's really, really good. And I was hoping do it in the show, have Loki mocking him. That would have been fucking hilarious.
Have him say, "Wow."
Yeah, just mocking him in front of him, and because Loki could do that because he's God of Mischief and he can mimic things, but they didn't do it.
Yeah, do the whole the Captain America thing when they were he's changing back and forth kind of thing. That would have been great. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to me that this series, which don't get me wrong, was excellent, and but it is crazy that they announced something this big and far-reaching. In this show, which I think Ant-Man is going to rehash some of the timeline, quantum, realm type stuff.
Well, and Spider-Man's going to have to do some stuff. I mean, I know a lot of the guys are denying it, but we know that Doc Ock. Who else?
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
They're
Electro.
totally doing it.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Especially after WandaVision, Disney.
It's like don't get me wrong, I'm super juiced about the future of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
It just for so long they've kind of tiptoed around things, Thor is not necessarily a god, but he's an alien that was perceived as a god. Magic's not really real. It's just really technology that we don't understand.
For Thor. But now with Doctor Strange.
It's just now with Doctor Strange, Doctor Strange, they even kind of shelve it off a little bit in that where it's it's just tapping into other realms' powers that we don't understand and stuff. And it's now they're just you know what? There's multiverses.
Okay.
There's Time Lords. There's, freaking multiple versions of everybody. There's a fucking alligator Loki. I love that they're leaning into the weirdness of everything.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is how they're going to bring in vampires. If it's just from
They mentioned vampires in...
Oh, that's right.
Well, and they're making a Blade, right?
Right. Yeah. So that's what I'm wondering if they're just going to get pulled in from another multiverse, or else there's been vampires this whole time. And
no, it can't be a multiverse because the TVA knows about them when they had the sacred timeline.
So this whole time they've just been underground.
It's probably how
they're allergic to sunlight, Christian. They can't be outside. Not in the daytime.
I would assume that's how they're going to get the X-Men in, though. Is it's a multiverse.
I think so. Yeah.
It's I'm sure with the Multiverse of Madness, it's going to be her finding her kids and they're actually X-Men.
Yeah.
Right? And that's how they get that whole thing in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or she still does the reverse House of M.
That would still be cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If she wills it into existence. Maybe she sees it in a different dimension, and when she comes back here, that's when she says and brings it into...
She created, what's her name? Was it Photon? Or the one that turned in the show?
Yeah.
That was her.
Yeah, Photon.
That was her who turned her, who gave her abilities.
Monica Rambeau. Yeah, so she has that ability. That would be interesting. I'm expecting the Fantastic Four to come out of this somewhere.
I'm hoping.
Because Kang is supposed to be a descendant of Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic.
And that's where he appears, is where he's a villain for them.
Right, exactly. So
it could be the Fantastic Four are dealing a different version of him in another universe.
What if they here's an idea. Kevin Feige, turn up the volume. I'm about to give you another one. The Kang we saw in or Immortus or whichever version we saw in Loki, to protect himself and the sacred timeline, he has hidden Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four in a pocket dimension or something, aka the negative zone, and to keep them safe from the other Kings during the multidimensional thing. Now that the other Kings are coming back, they kind of come out to help.
Like, oh shit, we need you now.
We need you now more than ever. And then now they come out and it's the Fantastic Four to team up with the Avengers.
I feel like they're gonna do like a story of like how they became, which we don't really need. It's kind of like Spider-Man. We get it. We don't need to see how they get their powers.
We know how it works.
I think what they did with Spider-Man is fine, where they just kind of reference it quickly. Because everyone knows the story of the Fantastic Four. You know, oh, we went up in space and, you know, this fucking
space radiation,
space magic turned us into crazy people. He's a big rock guy.
This guy lights on fire.
This guy lights on fire. She turns invisible and does force fields for some reason, and I stretch all over the place. But I'm super smart. Done. Like, it's, you know, I don't think we don't need another Fantastic Four origin story. But I think them relating to Kang is a necessity.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Kevin, call us. We got it. Any last final thoughts, guys?
It was great. I loved it.
So good. My favorite of the Disney Plus shows so far.
Really?
I put the tied with WandaVision just because even though there wasn't a lot of action, it still held my attention.
Yeah.
WandaVision 2, for being so different, was amazing. But like this one, I love the TVA aesthetic, like the dark and dingy bureaucracy kind of thing. I love that shit. And then obviously Tom Hiddleston is just amazing.
Oh yeah, Tom Hiddleston can shit in a bag, and
I'd watch that video. Like, why is he doing it? I don't know, but look at him.
I don't know, but look at his beautiful face.
But yeah, I think he's awesome, and you know, he carried that show. But him and Owen Wilson together, the chemistry was so good, and it's no knock on WandaVision, but this one edges it out a little bit more, just from the different Easter eggs and stuff we saw, which were really fun, and then also the tying into the Marvel Cinematic Universe at large. I think it just pushed it over the edge for me. They've all been great though. I've enjoyed all of them. You know, Falcon Winter Soldier, it was fine, but it was just really? I think they tried to do too much. They tried
I full-heartedly believe
if it was focused more, like this season is just Flag Smashers, next season U.S. Agent, fine, but it's just too much. It was they bit off more than they could chew.
I forgive it for what Fabienne told us last time, where like it had to do with the pandemic and they had to cut it out, so they had to recut it. And I was like, all right, and that makes so much sense when she said it. I was like, so I kind of forgive a lot of its faults for it.
I still enjoyed it, but you know,
I thought like the surprise, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier was the surprise one for me on how much I enjoyed it and liked it, even though it had like some faults and stuff. I still think of the three, I think WandaVision was the best.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, stylistically, it was so different.
Yeah,
you know, to see them take a chance like that was great.
Loki, for whatever reason, took me a while to warm up to.
Oh, really?
I don't really know why. Like, I felt the first episode was like, oh, cool. It's again like Tom Hiddleston can shit in a bag, and I'll watch him. You know, like I wasn't like impressed by anything else. Or like wowed. I thought the aesthetic and the art direction was really cool, but like I wasn't like getting it. And then like I think end of second, like third episode is when I was like, okay, I get this now. Like I actually do really enjoy this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my thing with Loki. But otherwise, like I think WandaVision was still the better of the three, was the best.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see what they do next. You know, more stuff coming. So keep it coming, Marvel. We appreciate.
What is the next thing?
I think it's Hawkeye at the end of the year, and then
it's a Disney Plus show.
That's a Disney Plus show. But then the next Marvel thing is Shang-Chi, then the Eternals, then Spider-Man. So
which I'm excited for because it takes place in San Francisco, and I'm really excited.
And then what if? What if is next?
Oh yeah, What If is coming out. That's the next Disney Plus show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's What If, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Hawkeye, Spider-Man. Somewhere they're both December, I think.
But, and Eternals is the one where
Jon
it's like
Snow and Rob Stark and Salma Hayek.
It's like the gods, right?
Yeah.
Basically, they saw what happened with all the apocalypses. They're like, we're not gonna do shit.
Yeah, they're basically the they were made by the Celestials, and the Celestials you see in the Guardians of the Galaxy one, where they're the ones who like I don't know if they created the Infinity Stones, but they were the ones who like used them the first time. And the planet that's a giant floating space head is
that's a celestial.
Galactus, I think, is one of them too, isn't he?
No, I don't believe so.
I thought he was a celestial.
I don't think so.
Doesn't matter. But anyway, they're big space god things. So yeah.
Cool. I'll have to look more. That's another one that
I don't know a lot about them or Shang-Chi for that much matter either. So I'm excited for those because then I get to go in and learn new stuff. So it's good stuff. Fabienne, thank you for coming and joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Let everyone know where they can follow you and all your social media plugs.
Yes. Hello, I'm Fab. Or Fabienne. That's my normal name. God, I'm so awkward.
You're really bad at promoting yourself. Like really every time.
It's on brand.
Yeah.
It's on brand. Yeah, sure. All of my personal social medias is at MagicalGirlFab. I post about tabletop RPGs and Lolita fashion and other nerdy shit. So feel free to follow me and for nerdy stuff. What else? I produce content for the Scabby Rooster. We're a Twitch channel that makes tabletop role-playing content. This is the tavern. Yeah. I know I'm always in a different place, but this is the tavern.
Yeah, it looks so
that
cool.
we play our games in when we're not in a pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then is there anything else? I'm in a podcast, a D&D podcast called Realms Apart. It's a wholesome, Forgotten Realms-esque D&D game with a bunch of LARPers from all around the world, and we play together. Yeah.
Very cool.
That's me. Thanks for having me, everyone.
Yeah, always great having you, especially when new Marvel stuff comes out, because I feel like you're one of our few friends who can like keep up with our enthusiasm for Marvel and all other nerdy stuff.
One of these days we should throw a wrench in it and talk about DC.
Yeah, I'm down. I can do it. Maybe when the Black Adam movie comes out, we can do that.
That would be cool. It kind of sucks.
I haven't seen anything. Like I haven't even seen like Justice League or like the Snyder. What the hell's his name?
Snyder.
That guy.
Zack Snyder.
That guy's cut. I met Cyborg though.
Oh, that's cool.
Before he did the movies.
Oh, nice.
I met him, and he was very nice.
He seems like a very nice man. He gets a much better story in the Snyder cut.
Yes,
I've heard that he gets
worth
like
watching.
a good redemption.
Yeah, it's worth watching for sure.
Since you mentioned Black Adam, it kind of sucks we're not going to see Henry Cavill fight The Rock. Like that would have been fucking great.
That's not set in stone. Henry Cavill says he is willing to come back.
Well, we'll see.
Henry Cavill.
I know, he's so great. Witcher season 2 coming soon.
I'm so excited for that.
I know, he's the best.
He's another person that like I'll watch him shit in the back.
Yeah, I would too.
He also plays Warhammer.
Yeah, he does.
Does he play World of Warcraft?
No, Warhammer.
Or No,
please don't get those.
He plays all of it.
Yeah, he does.
He plays all of it.
No,
he's like a huge fucking
He had
nerd.
videos of him like building his own computer. I think it was for World of Warcraft.
Yeah, he's a huge nerd. There's like something where he's like, sorry, but the chandelier behind us looks like the Blackstone Fortress or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for The Witcher, and he took a photo of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like,
that's
nerd.
so good. I love it. Well, you can if you
also,
like
Henry Cavill, if you want to be on this podcast.
Yeah, Henry Cavill, if you're also a nerd and want to be on our podcast, you can check us out at nerdswithfriendspodcast.com, or you can become a patron of ours. We know you got the cash, got all that Justice League money. You can become a patron at patreon.com/nerdswithfriends. Thank you to all of our patrons who make this show possible. Christian, that's all their names. Raising up above us. Mm-hmm. Christian, thank you as always for being my humble.
And we'll see if we could have Henry. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. We'll work him into the schedule. We'll have to see
if we could make the time.
Exactly. Fabs, thanks again. Always a pleasure having you on. And to all the nerds out there, remember, you're not alone. You're with friends. This is Nerds with Friends. Thank you and good night.
Bye.